Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Matthew Driscoll. I'm the Executive Director of the New York State Thruway, and I want to thank all of you for being here today on what is to be, for sure, a big news day. I want to give a special thank you to IBEW Local 363 for hosting us today. We very much appreciate that. And I have a long list, so bear with me, of special guests that I'd like to acknowledge, and I'd ask you to hold your applause till the end, and then we'll give them a big round of applause. First, our new commissioner for the New York State Department of Transportation, Paul Karras. Okay, you got to follow directions here. All right. Commissioner of New York State Department of Labor, Roberta Reardon. President and CEO of the Empire State Development, Howard Zemsky. Senator Bill Larkin. Assembly Member Eileen Gunther. Assembly Member Carl Brabenek. Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse, Chairman of the Sullivan County Legislature Luis Alvarez, Mayor of the City of Middleton Joe DeStefano, Jim Cahill, President, New York State Building and Construction Trades Council, Mario Salento, President, New York State AFL-CIO, Todd DiOrio, President, Hudson Valley Building and Construction Trades Council, Ron Diaz, President, Hudson Valley Area Labor Federation, Sam Fratto, whose house we're in, business manager, IBEW, Local 363, all of our town supervisors, village mayors, county legislators, members of the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council are here, and of course, all of our friends in labor. So now let's give everybody a big round of applause. Okay, all right, well, we've got an exciting program, and I'll start with this. This is probably a picture that most all of you in this room are very, very familiar with. You've probably experienced it more than once in your lives. It's, of course, home to Woodbury Commons Premium Outlets, which is why we're here. And as everybody knows, it's known across the state of New York. It's known nationally and, in fact, internationally, because over 13 million visitors come here every single year. And that's a very good thing for the community and for New York State. Here at this location, just between routes 32 and 17, over 70,000 vehicles every day use that. Think about that, 70,000 vehicles on this interchange every single day. Now, of course, like most infrastructure across the country, it was designed many, many years ago. And when it was designed back in the 50s, as this was, they didn't take into account the type of planning that we do today, and that here in New York that we pride ourselves on doing. They certainly didn't really consider configuration as much, because population trends at that time weren't really factored in to how a transportation system was designed and built. And of course, we know now there's major choke points and, of course, many, many safety issues with what is in place today. Weekend traffic can be very, very harsh. And it takes several hours just to get from the Thruway up to the Commons. And that's not good for business, and that's not good for anybody who lives in the region. Here, speaking of locals, of course, Ninninger Road, it's a vital link for traffic for everybody, and it's often snarled in traffic, and there's nothing more frustrating if you want to get home or someplace in your community and you're all bottlenecked up. Big problem. And of course, layered in all of this is the kids and the school district, which is really here at the nexus of all of this activity. So not only does it make it difficult to get the kids into school on time, you also have to get them home efficiently as well. And then you have sporting events on the weekends and ball games and so forth. So all of that converges here. So, and many of you probably know, like many other places, they've been talking about it for sure. They've been talking about fixing it. They've been thinking about it. They've been talking about it. They did some more thinking about it, and then they talked a little bit more about it, and they gave it a little bit more thought. But I can tell you that that is all changing because of our governor, Andrew Cuomo. Now, in January, we may recall that the governor announced that we were going to get it done, and we were going to get it done fast. But I have to tell you, in a meeting that we had, he called some of us in to talk about this, not only to get it done fast, but to get it done right. and to build it in a way that allows expansion should it come, and build it for the future. Just don't build it to address today's issues like they did many, many years ago. Build it for the future, and that is what is going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, today really marks the start of the construction on what is a $150 million road, transit, and economic development hub redo right here in the Hudson region. Yes, please. You know, you can cheer too, because this is a very, very big project. I do not want to I want to underscore that this isn't your program where you're going to see road restriping and other. This is a very big and a very comprehensive program that I'm going to lay out for you. The new hub is going to ease traffic, of course, and backups, which, as we've discussed, is a big problem, and reduce accidents, and that's always very important for the Department of Transportation, and of course the Thruway as well. Safety is number one. The project's going to do several things. It's going to construct a diverging diamond interchange. It's going to replace the existing bridge on Route 32. It's going to build a new underpass under Route 32. It's going to, as we always do, and with our Complete Street program, looking to create bicycle and pedestrian safety corridor. That's very important. It's going to construct a new Woodbury Common Premium Outlets access point. It's going to construct a new Monroe-Woodbury School District roadway, and I'm certain that that's something that everybody who works or travels in and out of there is going to very much appreciate. And it's also going to construct a new 200-space park and ride featuring solar-resistant bus shelter as well. So first, we're going to be constructing a diverging diamond interchange, and that'll be, as you can see here, at the interchange. Now, what is that, right? You've probably never heard of that. It's a crossover section that really moves traffic from the right side of the road to the left side of the road and then back again. So that what that means is that all left turns occur without having to cross opposing traffic. It will allow traffic to freely make left and right-hand turns with no opposing traffic, and it will greatly increase the efficiency of the corridor, in particular, access to the Thruway and Route 17 as well. So this is a big, big change on this section. We've done this back in 2012 in Monroe County up in Rochester. It's been hugely successful. And in this area, with so many travelers and so much activity, it's really going to make a big difference. Next, we're replacing the Route 32 bridge, as I mentioned, over 17. It's going to be raised so that it's actually the roadway will be lowered so that it meets and conforms to federal highway standards and allows for extra loads of trucks and others to stay on that road rather than jumping off, going around, and impacting local roads as well. We're building the new underpass I just mentioned. On either end of those underpass will be roundabouts. And roundabouts are very, very efficient because it's going to allow locals to access local roads easier, and travelers who want to use 17 can stay on it and go straight through. Mentioned the pedestrian safety access corridor. This is very big. It's very important. The governor has discussed this on all of our projects because people do enjoy walking and using bicycling, and we want to incorporate that into this project as well. There's a number of sustainable efforts in this as well here. A new south entrance, which I mentioned, to the Woodbury Commons. It's designed, of course, to improve the access to that, and really what it does is it allows you to get to that ring road, so it gets more traffic off on the ring road so that it can access the facility and, of course, lessen the local traffic jams. We're also constructing a new road connecting the elementary and high schools. As I mentioned before, this is a big complex here, as you all know. It'll allow the schools to bypass some of the traffic jams there, and it'll be much more efficient for the students and employees of the district to get in and out as well. That road's going to be very helpful, and as part of the new design, there's going to be new parking areas, 5 of them on the school property, which are going to, again, make the school property more efficient for the users of that particular facility. We're also constructing a new 200-space parking lot. Again, when we talk about sustainability and kind of green initiatives and the focus that the governor has on the environment, electric car charging stations, solar-reliant bus shelters, a big part of what we're doing all across the state and doing right here now as well. The New York State Thruway will be implementing cashless tolling. As you can see here at the Harriman toll barrier, that'll be functional, operational in October of 2018. And it really makes, as you probably already know, it's going to make it more efficient, right? You can go through there quicker, faster, keeps things moving, which is always very important. We're doing this elsewhere across the state, out west on Grand Island near Buffalo. We're already in construction on that, and as you can see here, it does save people time, and time is money. And so it's very important. You probably are well aware it's been fully implemented on all the MTA crossings right now. And again, as you can see here, it's saving drive time and fuel efficiency as well, and air emissions. Again, that's a big deal. And so we're doing this across the state. We're proud to add it here. It's going to really benefit the environment here in Woodbury. We're also installing, as you can see here as well, as solar panels at the Harriman exit. It's going to offset our electricity used by the thruway at the toll facilities and our maintenance facilities, which are close by. So it's always good to utilize this technology, and we'll continue to do that. Now, I talked about, the governor likes to get things done fast. And those of you who know him know he likes to get things done fast. This right here shows you how quickly we've been moving to really get this in a position to get it done now. Now, there's a big change that's been made over what was originally planned. Originally, it was going to start in 2020. But you know the governor like I know the governor, and he said, no, we are starting it now. And so it's going to be done 5 years earlier, and that is going to make a big difference here for the community, people that live here and work here. So it really now, that's a snapshot of what we're doing here. I want to say that in many discussions that we've had and I've had with the governor, he's very focused on how with any transportation project that we do, that we must do, that we do and will do, we want to focus on local communities. You want to make opportunities for the people who live in the region. You want to enhance the economic viability of the region. You want to make smart decisions. Smart decisions. That's what this project represents, and I want to now introduce the person who drove the process, the leader of New York State, our governor, Andrew Cuomo.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. It's an exciting day. We've been talking about it for a long time, but it's finally here. First to IBEW, thank you for having us in your house. And thank you for being a great, great longtime supporter of me on a personal note. So thank you very much. Pleasure to be here with you. I want to thank Matt Driscoll, who's done an outstanding job. He's right. I give him a little push from time to time to try to find out how we can get it done better and faster, and he always steps up to the plate, and he did here again on this project. Let's give him a round of applause. Matt Driscoll. We have my colleagues from Albany, who you'll hear from in a moment, Senator Larkin and Assemblyperson Aileen Gunther. Pleasure to be with both of you today. We have Joe DiStefano, who's doing a great job. Pleasure to be with you, Mayor. We have Mario, give him a round of applause. Mario Salento, who is the president, Mr. President, he likes to be called. When you call him on the phone, he says, you can call me Mr. President. Mr. President Mario Salento, who's president of the AFL-CIO. County Executive Newhouse, all the elected officials, all the union officials, thank you for being here. Give them a round of applause. This project is common sense, long overdue. When I was a boy, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather on my father's side, my father's father, whose name was Andrea. I was named for him. And we would drive around, and he was a very passionate, classic Italian man. I've lost that passion. I'm now dispassionate and calm and quiet at all times. very sedate. Okay, I'm never sedate, and I'm never calm, and I'm never quiet. But you drive around with my grandfather, and he would get infuriated at situations that just defied common sense. And he would rail and rail. How did they let this happen? How do they do this? How they. Now, as a kid, you don't really know who they are. You know, you're always learn to meet they. But this is crazy, and I don't know why they let this happen. And he would really get very animated, so it would have an effect as a child. And then we'd be watching TV, and a politician would come on, a politician would start to speak, and he would go like this when a politician talked. And he would say, that's all they do is talk. But now we know who they was, the they that he was talking about. The they were the politicians, the they were the government, the they were the bureaucracy, they were the apathy. They were whoever was supposed to be in charge and doing things, and they weren't doing it. The Woodbury Common interchange would have driven my grandfather crazy. It was lunacy for a long, long time. That's a technical government term, lunacy. But it never made sense from the get-go. It was an interchange designed in the 50s. Woodbury Common came in the 80s. It exploded. It did better, frankly, than most people thought. That's good news. Became an international attraction. But the interchange couldn't handle it. And the traffic has been a nightmare. I live in Westchester. I have 3 young daughters, born shoppers. It's in their blood. I don't know where they got it from. And they love going to shop at Woodbury Common. And they would say to me on the weekend, can you take us to Woodbury Common? Wild horses couldn't drag me to Woodbury Common. And I would say, I can't. Ask your mother. It's one of the advantages of divorce. You're not there when they ask their mother. But it was just impossible. And not just going to Woodbury Common, but it was a traffic clog for anyone going to 17, any businesses in the area, to the schools. It was just difficult. And not just an inconvenience, and I don't mean to make light of it. I believe it cost us money, time, economic development opportunity, because it affected the entire region. We're trying to develop the region. We're trying to develop new attractions, go to Legoland, come up to the Hudson Valley and see what we have, wine tasting, beautiful vistas, more tourism. And this is a plug right in the middle that almost makes it impossible. So it did tremendous, tremendous damage for many, many years. This is a 20-year talking about it problem. Why does it take 20 years? Well, they have to talk about it. It can't take 20 years. It was a 20-minute discussion. This discussion. The interchange is fundamentally poorly designed, can't handle the volume that Woodbury Common, on top of everything else, the tourism, people wanting to go up 17, should have been done 20 years ago. We've had a number of 20-year situations. Tappan Zee is another 20-year situation. Literally 20 years ago, governor stood up and said, the Tappan Zee is dangerous, and we have to replace it. Now, I have a little fear of heights. So when you tell me a bridge is dangerous, now my eyes open wide. And the Tappan Zee, they would have those metal plates, if you remember, on the Tappan Zee Bridge. And you'd watch the vehicle in front of you, especially if it was a truck, go over that metal plate, and the metal plate would bounce just a little bit. And I swear I could see daylight between that metal plate and the roadway. And I would say, my luck, I'm going over that metal plate. It's going to move. I'm going down. I'm going to be in the water. I better take off my seatbelt. I'm going to get ready because I'm swimming. 20 years. They talked about it. And you know what they did? Nothing but talk about it. 20 years they've been talking about the interchange. What did they do? Nothing. Why? Well, it's hard, it's complicated, we have to talk, we have to think, the local community, the this, the money, That's not the New York way. That's not who we are. It is not a formula for success. If that's your attitude, you lose the game. You lose. Because you have other states, you have other countries that are building, and they're building fast, and they're building well, and it's pervasive. Last time this country built a new airport, 25 years ago. 25 years ago. You travel to any other country, you land, it's a whole beautiful, it's not even an airport. It's a welcome center, hotel, convention, shopping plaza. You visit New York, you land in LaGuardia Airport. Enough said. This project has to be done. It has to be done right, but it has to be done quickly. And that's exactly what this plan will do. It is a total redesign. The Virgin Diamonds have been used before. They are the state of the art in moving traffic quickly. Separate access to Woodbury Common. You're going there, God bless you. That's a separate access route. You're going past. You should be able to go past without getting caught in the Woodbury Common traffic. Separate access for the school, because they're trying to get buses in and out and move students in the midst of all this. And the entire project will be a $150 million project. It's a lot of money, but as I said to my colleagues in the legislature, we don't have an alternative. It has to be done, and it has to be done right. $150 million sounds like a lot of money. That interchange has cost us more than $150 million in lost revenue, lost traffic, lost opportunities. It has cost us more than that. The original plan was it was going to happen in 10 years. I don't believe in any 10-year plan. Nothing can take 10 years. Nothing. In this day and age, nothing can take 10 years. So Matt Driscoll sharpened his pencil. We saved 5 years. We're looking to start construction as early as next year. And it is now approximately a 5-year project. One of the accelerants is we now use a new method called design build, which means rather than waiting to fully design the entire project and do all the drawings for the project and then start building, we start building as soon as we have about 20–30% of the drawings done. We start to build, and we complete the drawings as we build. And that saves a significant amount of time. It's the way all the private sector projects are built. That's the methodology they use around the world. It's one of the reasons they've been building so much faster than we have. It is also a project that is going to be built, I'm proud to say, with union labor, so it'll be built right. It will be built right, and it will be built with quality, and it will be built safely. That's one of the things people forget. Why build it union? Well, first of all, because we believe in the union movement, that's true. The union movement built the middle class in this nation. But when you build union, you build better. More skill, more apprentices, you're investing in the industry itself, safer construction. That's what you get when you build union. And that's why we do it every chance we get, and certainly every project that we're involved in. We're also going to do cashless tolling at Harriman. Cashless tolling is another one of those situations that my grandfather, if he had to stop at a toll booth, would go right into his routine about a toll booth. Other states have had cashless tolling. They've had it for a long time. We have brought cashless tolling to a number of locations. We're doing it all around New York City on the high traffic, Queens Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, West Side Highway. We've started it up in Buffalo. It makes tremendous sense. Tremendous sense. There's an initial investment, but you literally don't stop the car. It saves tremendous amount of hours. It stops cars from sitting there and idling. It is a tremendous advantage. It's also a great security measure that people don't think about. Those cashless tolling machines, they take a picture of your license plate, and they can run that license plate against the databases that the New York State Police, et cetera, keep. So if you are on a watch list, or if you're on a terrorist watch list, that plate will register, and we have state police who are at those cashless tolling places, because as soon as they get a hit on from the license plate reader to the police car, it's just a matter of seconds. So as a security matter, it's extraordinarily helpful, especially in these crazy days of terrorism, et cetera. It's an added asset. But we're going to have cashless tolling at Harriman, which, as you know, can get very backed up. Forget Woodbury Common and all that traffic coming in from 17. Just on a Sunday night coming down from upstate or coming up on a Friday, the backup is horrendous. Cashless tolling will reduce that down to literally 50% of the amount of time, because you just never slow down the vehicle. So we're excited about that. And all of this in a context. Cashless tolling, $150 million construction project. This state has embarked on the largest construction program in the United States of America, $100 billion. Why? It's very simple. New York is founded, the New York experiment, the New York experience, is founded on what we built. New York is an entire built environment. We made New York. It was a great natural harbor. But after that is everything that we did with our imagination and our creation. Started by building the Erie Canal in 1817. Engineering marvel, in many ways unparalleled, 1817. The race was who could open up passage to the West. At that time, the West was like the Midwest. And they were trying to have Washington and Virginia as the main port. And the governor in the state of New York said, no, we can be the passageway to the West. They said, really, how, governor? He said, you come up the Hudson River, you get to Albany, you make a left, you come out at Buffalo, and you're in the Great Lakes. And then you can go down the Missouri, you can go wherever you want to go. They said, Governor, one question. When the boat makes the left at Albany, how do they get out in Buffalo? We said, oh, that's no problem. We're going to dig a canal. 1817, we're going to dig a canal. No power equipment, no hydraulics, just men, women, mules, and shovels. And they said, literally, you're out of your mind. They said he had literally gone insane, and they moved to impeach him on the grounds of insanity. We built the Erie Canal, 8 years on time, on budget. Erie Canal. Erie Canal opens up New York. Manhattan thinks all those ships are coming in to go to Manhattan. No, the ships are coming into Manhattan because they're starting their ride up the Hudson through the Erie Canal to the west. That's what made New York the port city that it is. And that energy, that creativity, we never stopped. George Washington Bridge, longest bridge ever built. You can't do it. Yes, we can. Brooklyn Bridge, it's impossible to build that bridge. Yes, we can. Verrazano, longest bridge in history. It's never been done. You can't do it. Yes, we can. Lincoln Tunnel, you've never built a tunnel that long underground. You're going to suffocate people. No, we can design a ventilation system that makes it work. Empire State Building, tallest ever, you can't do it. Yes, we can. World Trade Center, come right back. Yes, we can. Freedom Tower, we come back right back. Yes, we can. New York City subway system, 600 miles. Underground, 100 years ago. Yes, we can. We are what we built. Don't lose that energy. Don't lose that ambition. Don't lose that confidence. You lose that confidence, you lose who you are. You know, they talk about you narrow, arrogant New Yorkers. We do have a little arrogance. They told us we couldn't do it. We did it. And again and again and again. And that makes us who we are. Don't tell me we can't build a new intersection. Don't tell me we can't have cashless tolling. The $100 billion building plan, new LaGuardia Airport, because it's a disgrace. New JFK Airport, because if you want to be competitive, people have to get here. New Elmira Corning Airport, because upstate needs development desperately. New Rochester Airport, new Syracuse Airport, new Plattsburgh Airport. More roads and bridges being built in upstate New York than ever in history. New Tappan Zee Bridge. New Moynihan Train Hall across from Penn Station, because going into Penn Station is going into the 7 levels of hell. It shouldn't be that way. And we're building a new train hall next year. Why? Because we are New York. And it makes us economically competitive, and it makes us the place to do business on the globe, and because it creates jobs for our men and women who are not going to get a job programming a computer that is for some 24-year-old, but it gives jobs to the men and women of unions and labor and trades, and that's what we need more than anything. Best thing I heard from the Trump campaign was when he said, I'm going to spend $1 trillion on infrastructure. Smartest thing the administration mentioned. I went down and met with the president. I said, I'm in. Any program you want to do, I'll do it with you. We have to build a new gateway tunnel from New York to New Jersey because those tunnels are collapsing under the Hudson River. All the trains come in that way. I said, let's do that together. Whatever you want to do, we'll do together. Any project you want to do, we go 50-50. I have a name, Trump. Whatever it takes, we'll do it. That $1 trillion infrastructure program never materialized. The best idea they had never materialized. That's okay. New York waits for no one. We're going to do our own $100 billion project. We're in the middle of it. And New York, as you know it, is right now being transformed and is going to be a different, fundamental state in just a few years. These projects are not proposals, they're not on easels, they're not being studied. They're being built, and they're being built right, and they're being built fast, and they're being built now. Fundamental obligation for every person in this room. Leave the place better than you found it. Leave the place better than you found it. As a citizen, as a parent, as a union member, God gives you a certain amount of time on earth. It seems like it gets shorter and shorter every day. Use that time to leave a better place for your children. So at the end of the day, you can say, I made this state a better state. And my children are inheriting a New York that is stronger and cleaner and sweeter and fairer and stronger than the New York I grew up in. I'm leaving them a better home. Together, that is exactly what we are doing. And it's my honor to do it with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to Jimmy Cahill, President of New York Building and Construction Trade Unions.
First thing I can say is thank you, Governor. And I really mean that, for all the 220,000 people that I represent. This certainly is a great day for the Woodbury area, for up here, for all the people up here. And it wouldn't have happened if our governor didn't do it. I live next to the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is now, thankfully, the Mario Cuomo Bridge, because if we didn't change the name, we'd still be waiting for that concrete to fall. And I, too, went underneath it, and I seen the holes in the bottom. So everything you said today was right on. But I think one thing that the governor did say today, that he didn't say, and I know something he means. On time, under budget. Under budget means a lot. That's your tax dollars. Under budget means a lot when you get that. On time means a lot. But one other thing, and I know he cares about, for every working person in this state, is the safety record of that bridge. And that bridge is the largest bridge built in this country in the last 20 years, and not one death on that bridge. So we are okay. You know, the governor, in his initial remarks saying, he's calm, he's not calm, he's not calm. He's not calm. He wants to get things done. And you get calls from the governor. I was in vacation a couple of years ago when we were talking about the Tappan Zee Bridge, and I was with my grandchildren, and the phone's ringing, and it's the governor. What are you doing? I said, well, I'm on vacation. Well, you got to get back to New York. We're getting the bridge done. I said, oh, really? It took 20 years to get it done. We're going to get it done? He goes, yeah, come on back up. I said, what am I going to do with my kids? I'll leave them with your wife. That's what he told me. So, but, he does things that I just can't say. And he does them for the people, all of us, that are in New York. He's a gentleman. He's a class act. And I can't say enough to say thank you for what you did, everybody. Again, Governor, thank you. And if you throw a few incentives there, we can cut it down to building trades to 4 years if you want to do it. So we'll make Woodbury pay for that. But on behalf of all the people that I represent in the building trades, pipe fitters, electricians, Sam, you look, hey, they spent their own money. Look how nice they built this place. Beautiful place, Sam. I got to comment you on 363's Union Hall. Great place. And With that being said, I'm not going to take much time. I do have one chore to introduce one of our senior congressmen, senators here, Mr. Larkin and Senator Goya, coming up. They're going to say a few words. And again, thank yous and all. Again, Governor, thank you enough, and everyone have a happy holidays, and pretty soon you won't have the traffic that you've lived with for the last 20 years. Good luck to all of you.
I'm 90, I can't wait. Governor, my aunt and uncle who raised me said, treat ladies right, ladies first.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad that our governor is a great listener to his grandfather, because this is such an important project for all of New York State. You know, in 2 years, we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, and that's an international crowd that will be drawn to our area, and this will help so much. Thank you to IEBW, thank you to all of our union workers, and it's about time that this happens so that Mid-Hudson area can host more tourism. Thank you.
Now, wasn't that nice? She wrote, you missed one word.
What was it?
I said goodbye.
Goodbye.
Governor, I want to tell you something. You know, there's no I in team. And cooperation, teamwork always produce positive results. And if we have to go back in history, some of you are a little older than me, know it. George S. Patton during the Battle of the Bulge said, when things were heightened up, some of the leaders are saying, well, we can't do that. Oh, we can't do the airdrop, we can't do this. He said one thing, leader, get the hell out of the way. The governor was polite. He didn't say get the hell out of the way. He said, come join us. We owe this to the people of the state of New York. Governor, stand up and say, I told you so. Governor, I thank you for letting a lot of this stuff go by. People said, well, we're spending money. How do you think this was built? There are people out there that were looking for jobs. There are people out there that said, he said he was going to do it. Oh, he won't do it. He won't do it. Oh, then why are you talking about it? Why don't you ask? These projects don't come quickie-dicky-doo. These are jobs that somebody has to sit down. God, Mr. Driscoll, I used to call him Matt. This is something that we needed. This is something that had to have someone with a vision of the future. Did you notice the governor talked about his children and maybe grandchildren? I'm just a young kid. In 2 months, I'll be 90 years old. I never thought I would get... All I can say is, Governor, you don't have to take a back seat to anybody. You know what they can do. And we all know what you can do. And we're very proud of you. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Governor Cuomo, thank you for all being here today. And please, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much.